Yeah, rolling. And CINEFEST Uncut with Raymond Knight, take 1.
Hi, I'm Zachary Tanner. Jeez, it's my name. Hi, I'm Zachary Tanner, and you're watching CINEFEST Uncut. And I'm here with Raymond Knight, the director of Beyond Control, which you can come watch at CINEFEST on November 18th at 1 p.m. Yeah. So, Ray, if you can first just start off with introducing yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself, birth date.
Yeah. Well, I'm Raymond Knight, and I'm 30 years old, turned 30 this year, and I live in Nanaimo currently, and moved here from Paul River probably about 10 years ago to take the visual arts and the jazz music program up at the university there, and just kind of I've been doing filmmaking my whole life, but it just never seemed like a reality that I could pursue, especially coming from such a small town. And I think when I first started getting back into it, I was like, holy crap, like there's so much technology available nowadays, you know, and I just didn't even I didn't even know that DSLRs could do video now, and that, you know, I could just grab lenses from people and have, you know, make really good quality images. So yeah, that kind of really inspired me, and I was just like, whoa, I'm gonna go buy a DSLR and and start making movies again, you know, and more seriously, and not, you know.
Yeah. And then you decided to make a feature-length movie. So first, tell us a little bit about your feature, Beyond Control.
So you want my pitch?
Yes.
Yeah. So Beyond Control is a psychological drama that follows a day in the life of a girl, Lucy, and it starts from the moment she wakes up and ends in the moment she goes to bed, and it's just all kind of wrapped up in her psychology. And it's about anxiety and about dealing with stuff from your past. You know, there's a lot of therapeutic elements to it, but it's dark, it's gritty, it's very it's real. You know, I really wanted to make something that was dramatically accurate to real life, and especially to the struggle of a young person. And there was a lot of struggles that I was going through in my life, and also maybe struggles I was putting other people through. So it was kind of a learning process for me, you know, as a therapy. It's definitely a therapeutic piece of art for me. Yeah.
Okay. And making a feature-length movie is a big undertaking. So what made you want to take that on?
I just thought that it would be the best way to learn the craft, you know, just to like dive full on in and to decide whether or not I wanted to do this for a living or for the rest of my life, you know. And my dad, I grew up doing construction with my dad my whole life, you know, and I understand that making a movie is more akin to building a house than it is to painting a painting, right? There's a lot of technical stuff, and you're on set and you think it's going to be all fun, but it's not. It's work, and you're trying to achieve something that people will enjoy in the end, but you're not. You know, it's not as romantic as people think it is. So for me, that was like, I just wanted to jump in and do it. And, you know, and the more people told me that I couldn't do it, the more like I wanted to. And that was kind of a big drive for me too. And I didn't even have a tripod. Like, I bought a DSLR, I had my kit lens. I think I bought that little plastic 50 millimeter lens. A lot of the beginning of the film, first scenes I shot were all on the 50 mil, and, you know, me just borrowing lenses for a day. You know, I would borrow your lens. You know, if I had a wide shot, I had to get, you know, and that was, or going back later and getting wide shots, you know, like a year later. It was a bit ridiculous,
right?
Different
season.
Yeah, and you know, and then by the end of it, we had tons of gear, and I had tons of gear and lenses and all this stuff, but it was just. And it was funny because I had to commit to the style that we started shooting it in order to keep continuity. So even though there was a lot of tricks I wanted to pull out, you know, it was just like, no, we're going to stick with the guns, you know, do a lot of handheld, do a lot of simple movements, and use the homemade dollies that we made and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
And then it's amazing how little they started with. So next one is, when did you start? Like, it's quite a long period, but when that idea?
I think 2014. Yeah. I think it was like the beginning of the year 2014, where I had the idea. Obviously, it wasn't fully formed. I started writing it. I wrote a script. I don't think that there was a lot of point to it right then. You know, it was a lot of feelings, a lot of scenes that I knew I wanted to do, and I was just trying to find a place for them, and as well as exploring like those ideas in my own life. And then it took us probably about 2.5 years to shoot from start to finish. I mean, in the end, we spent a lot of time going up and getting establishing shots, or if we had a scene with snow in it and we missed a certain shot, and so we had to wait a whole year later, and we'd go and grab that B-roll or grab the drone shots we needed. And so there was a lot of just like filling in the blanks after that. And obviously it's no money, and it's just us, and a lot of times it was just me holding the boom pole, pressing record on the thing, and like literally pushing the dolly as I'm holding the boom pole to get the shot. And then a lot of times we had tons of help, so it was just like trying to crank out any scene we could on the weekends, even just getting a shot here or there. And I mean, it definitely would have been a lot easier if we had some money, but that's kind of the charm of it as well, right?
Yeah. So we talked quite a bit about the process. What was to you the biggest challenge of that?
Technically? Or just emotionally?
Both, I guess.
I guess
say more technical. Yeah.
Technical. Well, learning to tell a story, right? That's a big thing. Is what story do you want to tell? How do you tell it? What does that mean? What are the elements for getting a viewer to involve themselves in your film? And I think that is a big technical thing, especially for a director, right? And there was a lot of technical stuff like audio and visual and all that, but I just felt like that'll take care of itself. I'll make it look good. I'll find a way to do that. But just how do you tell this story? And how do you create claustrophobia or elicit emotions from people, which is really interesting to me. That became my biggest thing, and although it first started out mostly as like a character story, which it is, as the plot developed, it got quite a bit more dramatic, and it got more of a point, right? And I realized how much those like storytelling tips that everybody tells you, or there's like rules and guidelines to telling a story, and they're there because that is literally how our body responds to emotion. And so embracing those things instead of running away from them and wanting to do something different, and so that was a big process for me, was just kind of like accepting that somebody's done it before, and I was learning a lot of those things, but also, I was like, okay, well, I'd go back and have a bit more respect for those rules and guidelines. So telling the story was definitely the biggest technical challenge in my mind. Actually, no, editing, sound. Oh my God, sound. Doing sound was ridiculous. We recorded the score all ourselves. I recorded it, mixed it, composed it. The whole thing. It was a huge process. And so but that's. I think I blocked that out.
Okay. Well, let's move away from the blocking stuff and talk about the things that you're most proud of.
Proud of the whole thing. I'm really proud. I'm proud of it, and not just for myself, but for everybody that was involved. I think we did a great job. I mean, you were there for most of it as well, right? So I think we all learned a lot, and I learned how to deal with people better and how to manage my creative self, which was like a big thing, learning curve for me. In order to turn it into reality, I had to really just learn to deal with people better, and trying to coach actors that have minimal experience, but you can tell like they've got that emotional drive, right? And what does it take to get there? How do you get an actor there? And how do and then in turn that's how you get your audience there. If you can bring your actor there, you can get your audience there. So I think that's like, I'm most proud of how real everything turned out, and that that I feel like the characters are real representations of people, and not just some sort of fictional characters.
I definitely think you have a lot to be proud of. like we as a community are proud of you, and
Awesome,
so
thank you.
yeah, so let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to the community and your future audience?
I don't know. Don't be afraid to invest yourself in something that's it may seem tough, and especially something that's personal, you know, because if it's personal to you, it's personal to somebody else. And I hope that's what people get from it. I hope they have some sort of personal experience with the film and can relate to some aspect of it. They can either laugh or they can cry or they can, you know, like be scared, whatever it is. I hope that I hope they take away just some sort of better maybe understanding of themselves or someone else, you know, maybe a step in somebody else's shoes for a bit, you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is Raymond Knight with Beyond Control, and hopefully we'll see you on November 18th at 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Cut.